Shall we start with warm-up, very small exercise, in order to show the meaning of civic participation? Yeah? Do you have pen and a piece of paper? Just very, very short, yeah? Could you write down, it's very quick, yeah? For you personally, the first impression. Far from home. How far is being far for you personally? In kilometers or meters or whatever.
Far.
Yeah.
If I'm home.
We need the other master classes, yeah? What's it called?
So we write in distance.
I expected the group will be not easy, but but not so difficult.
So we write distance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Deep water. What does it mean for you, deep water? Ready? A lot money. What does it mean for you, a lot of money? Okay, and the last one. Old person. How old is the person in order to be called old?
It's changing from year to year.
Significantly. Yeah. Okay, ready? Far from home. Yeah?
50 kilometers.
50.
1,000.
Okay.
1,000.
One is extreme, but over 8,000 kilometers.
8,000.
You are far away.
50. But he's more extreme now.
Ladies?
300.
300, okay.
600 kilometers.
Okay.
So,
Oh, it's 10,000.
10,000. Oh my goodness. It's like a moon, yeah?
Yeah.
500.
100.
Okay. Deep water? Very brief, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, 2.5 meters.
Yeah. 2.5, yeah?
50 meters.
50.
200 meters.
Okay.
8,000 meter. Maybe my number is right. 8,000 euro.
8,000 euro, yes. That will be the
A
next
lot of
step.
money.
Mine?
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
How much?
Billions of dollars.
Just 1 billion or
Billions.
how much?
Oh my god.
Say something.
2.
2. Okay.
5 millions.
Okay.
1 million.
Okay.
When you don't need to work anymore, it's a lot of money.
Oh.
That's when.
Okay. Okay.
So the question is, how much is low?
1 million.
Okay.
1 million. But
Okay. Good. Age. Yeah. Age.
I know, but it
No, it's not necessary. Okay, we can stop actually because it's getting sensitive. Okay. But you see, the same issue, completely different perception. Yeah, completely. And that's, for me, the essence of civic participation. Yeah, how to clarify what does it really mean, because we do have completely different perception, understanding of the same issue, depending of our experience, perspective, whatever, and that's the problem. How to find the common ground. Okay, last short exercise. Very simple. Again, pen and a piece of paper, yeah? Your first association, impression, whatever, when you came across civic participation. Just using the minimum of words, like 2 or 3, maximum 4. Just one, yeah? Just not as many as possible, just association, yeah? First what came to your mind? Madame, allez-y.
What?
What?
So civic participation, togetherness.
Togetherness, brilliant. Okay, wow. Okay. Volunteers?
Responsibility.
Hard
Hard.
and indifference.
Okay.
Lot of work, no effort.
Okay.
Volunteering.
Okay. Other ideas?
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Demanding.
Acceptance.
Okay.
Loud and silent voices.
Again?
Loud and silent voices.
Okay.
Discussions.
Too much discussions.
Conflict.
Again?
Too much discussions.
Too much discussion.
Agency. Providing agency.
Useful complaining.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Yeah, that's, we do have intuition of what it's about, and this intuition is right. Okay, let's go to the real world. Okay, that's, we as AUTA, as organization, we deal with civic participatory process on the daily basis, and our organization developed this presentation. Yeah, that's a very basic concept, like community, civic participation, civil society. I would like to draw your attention, civil society. That's a very interesting definition, because it's more than family, but it's something less or different than the state and the market. Yeah, that's the distinguish between these elements. Civil participation is, of course, the involvement of actors of different kinds in the decision-making process. Yeah. And community, like a space for acting, talking. Public authority, decision-making process, it's obvious, I don't need to explain it. And participatory democracy is it's like an essence of democracy. Yeah? This is not only the voting process, it's also a permanent process of dialogue, and actually the most important thing is how to manage the interests, because every actor has different interests, and that's the essence of the decision-making process of the politics as such, how to organize the different interests, the priorities, and the meaning of the interest, and the influence of the different groups on the community life or public sphere. Yeah, and actually that is all about this: how to deal with the different interests. Why it is so important to go for the participatory democracy? And actually, I would like to draw your attention to the last sentence, or actually before last, because for me it's the absolutely significant and the key elements. good governance is not just a matter of delivering good outcome. The manner in which they achieved is also very relevant. Ownership of the process. It is not enough that you make a right decision or you made the proper decision. It is very important that the people around you understand this decision like a own decision, or they can identify with this decision, or they feel they used to be involved. I will give you one example from my professional experience. When I used to work for the technology park, not in Białystok, in the other city in Poland, and my first task was to deal with the startup incubators, and I have hours of talk with the startuppers. And a lot of such cases, the young engineers with brilliant technical solutions, and they neglected everything except technology. And they say we have a perfect solution, the market will understand it, no problem. And they failed on the long run because the perfect technology solution is not enough. You should communicate it to the market. Yeah? You should explain it to the people. You should tell the story about this solution. You should convince the people for your solution, and so on. And therefore, we always try to convince the young startuppers, please hire not technicians, not the engineers, just people with the other kind of education in order to support you how to reach the market, how to communicate, and so on. This is a kind of civil participation. And of course, everything connected with this, like legitimacy, better policy, better received, better implemented. That's the principle. That's the involvement in the public sphere is like people's right. Good. That's the soft introduction, and right now, over to you, Julia, and we'll have a more practical examples. Yeah?
Thank you, Bartek. So, basically, as Bartek already anticipated, participatory democracy has a very huge meaning, and it has also a very differentiated basis in terms of literature, guidelines, definitions, principles that could be applied, could be used to define that topic. We, as ALDA Plus, we usually follow the Council of Europe guidelines and toolkits, among the many of them, because they are among the first to be developed, and from our point of view, they seems to be very completed and very self-explanatory. So basically, the guidelines of Council of Europe foresee 8 different principles, which are fundamental to be able to say, okay, since we have all these 8 principles, we are able to say, here in this community, in these cities, we have a civil participation that is active, that is real. So the 8 principles are the following. So there should be mutual respect between all the actors, because of course in a community different actors, different interests, different point of view are needed and are living, and should also try to respect each other, even if they are not maybe in line every day. And it is needed to have a mutual trust and to have this mutual respect. Then there should be respect for the independence of NGOs, so the non-governmental organizations are fundamental because usually they represent citizen interest and different categories of point of view and needs, and they are fundamental to be considered as independent and to be respected in this independence, because otherwise they will follow the political parties or decisions, and they will not be reliable anymore. The respect for the position of public authorities, because they have the responsibility and the accountabilities for the decision making. So even if maybe let's say I didn't vote for that party, I didn't vote for that politicians, I still need to respect its position and to find to give him like it's a mutual relationship. You need to trust him, and you need to let him, her be responsible and accountable for its decision making. Then there should be openness, transparency, and accountability. There should be responsiveness with all of the actors that are involved, that should bring feedback and should bring their own interest and point of view. There should be a non-discrimination and inclusiveness of all the citizens, all the interests and voices that needs to be heard and listened, because in a community you have, of course, minorities, maybe you have vulnerable group, the privileged ones, or the more poor ones, and you need to respect and include all these kind of groups and voices in order to be able to have a real participation from everyone. Then there should be a gender equality and equal participation of all the groups. So now it's could be similar to the first one, to the previous one, but it's about the gender inclusion. So which sometimes may be a bit tricky, at least in some cities or in some countries. But you should be able to ensure an equal participation of all the groups in this participation. And then there should be accessibility. So there should be a clear language, clear tool, easy tool, friendly tools to be used, to disseminate, provide information, and also to gain feedbacks and to collect experiences and feedbacks. So, since I can feel we are a bit sleepy, we could do again a quick exercise. This time, I will ask you to stand up, and basically I can explain the exercise first. So you can choose among one of these 8 principles, and then you put the name of the principle that you choose in the post-it that you should still have, okay? And you put here or in your shoulder, something like this, and then you will be here in a circle, and looking to each other, you will need to grab a principle with which you think you should go together. I mean, I will do an example, like a simple, easy one, so you cannot copy mine. So let's say I'm coffee, so I will grab milk, because coffee with milk is much better and sweeter, and I prefer it. So you basically need to choose one of the principles, and then standing here, look at the other and go grab another principle that you think is really connected with yours.
Define just 4 levels of this participation process. The first one, the very basic one, is information. It is very relevant that public opinion or stakeholders, relevant actors should be informed about activities of public authorities, and probably this level is achieved or done by most public authorities or local authorities. Maybe, yeah? Probably also in our countries this is also the legal obligations. Yeah? The public authority should inform about the law or strategies or plans or decisions or whatever. But we consider this like a basic level. It's not the highest level of the participation. Consultation. This is like exchange of opinions. It's not just one way. We let you know or we inform you. We also would like to listen the opinion and to probably take into consideration. Dialogue is like not only to listen to the opinion, but also to respond, to ask the questions, or to exchange, or to clarify. Yeah, that's you see. This is every level is more intensive and requires more engagement, more commitment, or more effort. And the highest level is partnership. It's like acting together, maybe sharing the responsibility or sharing the task, acting together. That's is considered like the highest level of participation. Very important, and it will be also the other exercise devoted to this idea. Shareholders. Every participation process should be started from mapping of actors. Who is relevant for this question we are gonna to consult? Institutional actors, civil society actors, and private sectors. The mapping is necessary in order to understand who is interested in the issue, who is present on this market, or who is dealing around this issue. And here, on the bottom of this slide, you see the information that individuals are not listed because it's difficult to identify them, difficult to mapping, difficult to involve them. But preparing for this presentation, I thought about two aspects. They are actually very relevant and also touching these individuals. First is the surveys. You know, if you are a public authority, you do a lot of surveys usually, in order to understand the public opinion. This is also kind of participation, because you would like to understand the public opinion for this matter, and you take into consideration and include to your acting. And the second similar aspect is also when you run the company, you order the market surveys. It's the same. It's also, you would like to understand what is the opinion of your customers or the environment around your business. Therefore, the individuals, they are not listed, but they are also present in the process. The second step, if you mapped stakeholders, you should ask yourself the question, what is the potential to engage for those actors? Because the different actors, they have different possibilities, but also they have different commitment to the subject. Yeah? And, some actors you should involve more, someone less, and this is very complex and difficult process, because it's nothing worse than the failed participation process. Yeah? if you go for the participation process, it should be well prepared, because it's very fragile and very sensitive. Actually, I was very thankful for those opinions at the beginning that is too much, or this is too much, that participation is too much talking, too much discussion, and this is not fruitful every time. Yeah, it's everything true, but at the end of the day it is worth to do it in order to listen to the different opinions and to be sure that the decision would be at least not put in question. Yeah? That's also the outcome of the participation. Not all people would be happy about the decision, but no one would put it in question, because if someone, institution, organization, or interest group was involved and was taken into account, it would be very difficult for them to criticize this decision, or to at least dealing against this decision. That's also the added value of the participation process. And one remark, this is not mentioned in our presentation, but I would like to tackle this issue. Participation is not only the nice process. Yeah? This is also a lot of threats. Like this, the very common threats is like I don't know if you have the real experience with the participation processes. I attended a lot on the different side, of the public authority, but also being a part of the participation process. And I remember such case in my city. It was a public consultation on transport issue, public transport issue. And you know, at the end of the day, every person involved in the process was talking about his or her way to the working place, from home to working place. Yeah? And all ideas all about this issue. Yeah? How it would be easier for me to get to work and back. Yeah? And this is very risky, or very, we should think about this. Yeah? The people or the interest group could follow their own interests without seeing the whole picture or the whole responsibility. That's very, very relevant, very important part. Okay. Yeah, Julia, over to you.
Thank you. So, how could we put all this theory, all these principles and like theoretical definitions into practice in our own communities, in our own city or small town or village or whatever we are living, or country? It could be a bit like not that smaller. Okay, so basically there's some toolkit that can help us to improve and to evaluate firstly how we, at which point we are with the civic participatory engagement and the participatory democracy, and also how we could put into practice involving some specific like groups, stakeholder groups, and yes, giving us some tips to improve and to work better on this. So basically, there should be two phases of analysis in this participatory democracy. The first one will be the community evaluation. So basically, it's like a self-assessment tool to understand how the community is influencing the participation of citizens, how this is influencing the interest of citizens and of different groups to participate and to be involved in the decision making, in the democracy. And then there's the stakeholder evaluation, which is like already anticipated, a map of all the stakeholders based on their relevance for the public authorities, but also for the perception of citizens, of locals, that about the importance that these stakeholders has, and how we could involve and evaluate and make them more important and more relevant in the decision-making process. So, as you can see, like these two steps are linked to two different factors. So the willingness to participate and the possibility to participate. Because the willingness to participate is something that an individual, a citizen, a mayor, an expert could find like inside himself or herself, and is something that could be linked to his interest, his experience, his knowledge on a specific topic, could be linked to some like past experience in maybe bad management, bad decision making, could be a low sense of belonging to the community, and this could influence a lot her willingness to participate. And then there's the possibility to participate, because this is something that could be like given for granted by the institution, so the public authority could say, okay, you're a common citizen, you're not involved a lot in this AV process, you're not dealing with this topic for now, so it's fine, you're cut off from this discussion, we will only talk with the universities and experts on this, but if you talk with only one stakeholder, with only one group, you're missing the other point of view, the other needs, the other interest, and this is something that it is important to like evaluate and make into practice for the public authorities in this sense. So when dealing with this community evaluation, which yes, I said again, it's a self-assessment, which is an assessment made by usually like the local authority, so the municipality, let's say, or the region, and also with some experts, and then some stakeholder or some precise citizens that could be involved in this kind of evaluation. So this community evaluation and the stakeholders are based on the analysis of these four different capital. So what is a capital? Is something that it is important, is valuable, that you can use to, maybe you think capital like economic capital, so money, making progress, invest more, but you can have not only the economic capital, so economic help for the community and money to invest for the financial resources for our topic, for instance, but you have also the social capital, so how much a community is involved, how if they are engaged or not, the willingness of the citizens to be engaged, how if the social life is active or not, if there is a sense of belonging to the community, to the city, to the country. Then there's also the political capital, because there's the political engagement of a community. With community, I'm meaning not only the like politicians or public authorities or workers for the municipalities, for instance, but of all the communities, and then also the interest that the politician, the policies have for the citizens. So the attention that the politicians and policy can bring for a citizen, the value that this policy could give to that specific topic, because it's important for the citizens, etc. And then there's also the human capital, which is like the knowledge and the skills of the community. It's how this community is composed, is based, because we may have like a very small village with no migrants, very elderly aged people, and this is a kind of community totally different from another, which is maybe again not a very huge town, but you have like more different groups of migrants or different ethnicities there. There are maybe younger groups of people, young families, younger students, and this is again different from a city where there are universities, there are students that live there during their student life, let's say, and then they come back during summer. So the city, it has this kind of different living, different life, and these are all interconnected, and they need to be analyzed and taken into consideration when we have this evaluation of the community and this like stakeholder involvement. So I have an exercise. I will show you the Excel on the screen, and basically what I wanted you to do now is to group with your colleagues. So basically each partner will have like a pair or trio in some case, and I will ask you to work together to try to evaluate your own community. So maybe in some cases it's easier because like for the mayor would be simpler probably than maybe like Alda Plus, but let's try to think to a specific community, a specific town or city in which you are working, and try to evaluate this community based on the different 4 topics that we have. Like community evaluation is something that you are doing in a group of persons, so with different experts, different knowledge, but it's a self-evaluation. When you arrive to the second step, so to the stakeholders evaluation, you again use the criteria, so the four criteria for the capitals, and use the same toolkit, but you need to go a bit deeper in the different like stakeholders, so you need to know more about them, you need to involve them, and in that case, the second phase, while the first one is on a generic community evaluation, so community in general, for the second phase, for the stakeholders, you need to focus on one specific topic. So you cannot like evaluate, okay, I will evaluate that volunteers organization like in general, but you need to evaluate that volunteers organization for, I don't know, young people or young migrants. You need to be very specific on the topic before starting the analysis of the stakeholders, because that is very linked. It is very different, of course, which stakeholders will be involved and will be more needed and interested based on the different themes and topics of the issues that you're tackling.